Hey everyone, it's Sue here, and thank you so much for being here and watching my video. I'm working in the large Dylusions journal, and I'm just showing you a couple of the collage pages that I have already worked on. Now I'm going to work on this two-page spread. I found these acrylic paints. Oh my gosh, they are years old. I think I got them at the Ranger Warehouse sale here in New Jersey years ago. And you're gonna see they're hard. Look at this. They're hard. It's more like paste than anything. In fact, one of them I had to throw in the garbage because I could not even get the paint out. And I didn't put gesso on these pages because I figure I'm going to have a lot of acrylic paint on them, and that will do just fine. So I didn't need to put any gesso. So I put the white down, and now I am going to take the pink. Also very, very, very pasty. You can see it's terrible. But hey, as long as I can use it somehow, I'm going to use it. And all I'm doing is I have like an old like credit card type thing, and I'm just smearing it around. And what's nice is, I didn't dry the white paint, so the white is softening the pink paint just a little bit. It's actually mixing just a little bit, and I like that very much. And I'm not trying to, I'm just making it to where it looks good to me, so I really am liking the way that this is looking at this point. So I will be using some of my Liquitex matte gel, and I also pulled out these doilies, which I also found in my stash from years ago, and they are simply amazing. And I wanted to use some, and the thought I had at this point right here, doing this spread, is nothing like how it turned out. So, so much for making plans, right? Because it just totally different. Now having it over to the left like this, it's a little bit more like I had originally thought. But a lot of times with circles, like I like anything circular because I like taking the fine line pen or applicator and just kind of going around the circle and accentuating it. And that was really my thought here as I'm putting all of these doilies down. But like I said, what I had in my mind and what I actually did is two totally different things. But these doilies are really cool because they look so distressed, and I just love the look of them. I think that they're just absolutely beautiful. So I'm putting a good amount of the gel on the top and on the bottom of each doily. Now the gel is a little bit thick, and you'll see that later on. I pull out my fluid medium because I'm going to be working a little bit with some tissue paper. And this gel, I mean, you can see it's quite a large container. I have had, see here, I have the fluid. That large, the gel, the first that I was using, I've had for a long time, so I don't remember if it was always that thick or if it's partially because it's so old, so I'm not sure. But anyway, so here I decided to pull in just a little bit of tissue paper. I'm going to tell you right now, this page is nothing like a page that I would normally make. So I am not going to be covering the two pages with tissue paper or that type of thing. It's just totally different, so you kind of have to hang out and see where this goes. And this whole two-page spread probably took an hour and a half to 2 hours to do. I was just sitting there, just relaxing, just enjoying, and really thinking about each step before I did it. A lot of times I work very fast and I can just put stuff down, and then in the end I like the way it looks, but with this I wanted to do something a little different. Now I did want to add a little bit of a different color on here. So I pulled in this tissue paper that's just like a light beige, and it's just going to give just a little bit more interest because on that right side I'm going to be drawing on it. So in my head, I know that I want the background to have multiple colors on it. So I'm kind of keeping that in mind as I'm working on this. And I only put a couple little pieces of the beige tissue paper on there. So I'll just go ahead and finish getting that down, and that is the last piece of tissue paper. Now, when do you ever see me not cover the whole background, right? I mean, that's like crazy, isn't it? I think so. But it was good because, like I said, you know, I wanted to do something different. That's basically, you know, what it is. But I am going to put more layers on. I definitely want more layers. So now that I have the tissue papers on there, I'm like, well, I want to kind of neutralize the background so that the tissue paper is not so obvious. So I took that pink acrylic paint that's like paste, and I added a whole bunch of water to it to really, you know, to liquefy it because I really wanted it to be more like a wash. So just like a very light covering on top of the page. And I was going to use that card again, the one that's over to the left. And that's what I got the paint down before with. But as I'm doing this, I'm like right there, I'm like, I might as well just use my palette knife. And I did. And I love the look. So it's not to cover the whole thing. I am not trying to cover each and every, you know, square inch of this page. You know, as I go over it with the palette knife, it's like wherever it's touching the page, because there's, you know, more raised areas in certain spots, unless I push down on it on purpose. Like over the doilies, I knew I wanted to get some on there, so I purposely made sure that I did get some on each of the doilies to also, you know, to soften them up and bring them more into the background as well. Because on the left side, I will have a little quote I'm going to put there. So at this point, I pulled out my Dr. P.H. Martins. These are watercolor, I want to say inks, but that's not the right word because I don't think watercolor and inks, that's two opposite things, but they're watercolor. And I haven't used these in quite a while, and I pulled out that deep, almost like school bus yellow color and white. And I'm going to go ahead and put some on here. Now you're going to probably think, oh, I really like that little design she's got going there. It looks really cool. Well, you know what? It really, you're going to see. It wasn't my intent to leave that there. I just wanted to get it in certain areas of the spread. And I'm taking my water, and here we go. We're going to start dripping. So if you've never done this, it's a really fun thing. You can take any sort of inks that you have, the liquid inks like that come in the bottles. FW is one brand, the Dr. P.H. Martins is another brand, Liquitex makes them, you know, there's several. And they have that like eyedropper top. And so I just keep adding water. I'm into the whole drippage thing going on here. So the more water that I'm adding to this watercolor pigment, the more it's going to move. And I literally just shake it around a little bit, getting it to how I like it. And you can see as soon as I spray it with the water, it's starting to move. So you can decide, how much you want it to cover the page, how much you don't want it to cover the page. If it starts dripping at all, like it did there, just clean it up. Unless you don't care if it gets on your journal, that's fine. And now I'm going to take the white. Now watch what I do with the white. So I'm just going to put drops around the page. Now mind you, the page is wet, right? So you can see that the white pigment is actually already starting to react to the water because it's watercolor pigment. I'm adding some more water, and I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to do this just a little bit differently because I didn't necessarily want it to drip around the pages like I did with the yellow. I wanted it to be a little bit different. So I'm just blending it just a little bit there. I'm wiping up certain areas. It was just a little too drippy. I didn't want it going onto like the other pages in the book. So just around the edges, I just pulled up a little bit of that orange pigment. So I dried it off. You'll see it in a second. And now I pulled out some of my charcoal pencils. I have the white, I have the black, I have brown in there. I have just a couple colors. And this is what I ended up doing. You did not see this. I did not record this face at all. I took my journal, I went and I sat on the couch and I just drew. And I so much enjoyed it. I just wanted to sit and relax and draw. So that's what I did. So the face is done, everything, and I used the black charcoal, except you can see on her lips I have two different colors on her lips. On the top is different than the bottom. Her cheeks is the same color as her bottom lip, and then like her eyelid is a deeper brown. And she just has curly Q hair, just like all kinds of circles. And the quote that I wanted to use is here. I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. But I took my Faber-Castell, my thin Faber-Castell Pitt pen. That was hard to say. And I wrote out U and R, and now I used my Posca pen in pink to color in the word U. Now I'm using my big brush Faber-Castell pen. Well, it's not right there. I'm going to put that one down and go get the big brush because I wanted this word to really stand out. And I'm going to actually stand up here so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just writing the word enough. So you can see the doilies back there. You can see all of the pigment. You can see the tissue papers. I mean, I love it. And the way that the girl's face looks with all of that color behind it, that's exactly what I wanted. So I was very pleased with the outcome. And yes, the eyelashes are crazy, and I tend to do the eyes a little crazy when I draw. They're usually even bigger than that, and it's a little crazy. But I was really just happy with this. It was a joy. It was a joy to sit. I haven't been drawing a lot of faces, and I want to get back to doing that. And that's it. So I hope that you liked this video. Go ahead and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. And you can certainly follow me along. And I appreciate all of you so much. I hope that you have a blessed week and enjoy your creativeness. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.